It's GG No Re. We're back, and we're doing an episode of Dear Gary. What is Dear Gary? Dear Gary is an advice column where we find questions that people have, people lost, wandering about in the waste, looking for advice on matters RPG related, and then we give advice, whether considered or unconsidered, good or bad. Usually we get these from Reddit, but sometimes from our dear listeners. Whether they actually need this counsel or just want to hear us talk about it is another matter entirely. We won't go into that. But we're going to do it. Today, we are going to talk. We've got a full house. We've got 6 mics. And just the first time you talk, just introduce yourself. How about we do it that way? Don't bore the listener. We'll get straight into it.
Hi, this is Tim.
So
Yeah, I was about to say something because I'm Asa.
I'm going to get your mic down a little bit there, buddy. Okay. So here's the first one. One of my players is not acting like a priest. I'm wondering what to do. This is taken from Reddit. When creating the character, I told the player...
Excommunicate him. This is Stefano.
...how important it was for me that he plays it like a priest and not like a fighter with special powers. He seemed to agree, but he made it clear that he didn't want to do missionary work. Anyways... He has brought some attention to his character among the party because he is always the first to loot, even friendly NPCs and so on. In short, there is no actual problem. Okay, well...
This is Mason.
Problem solved.
We're done.
Problem solved.
All right, in
I
short,
think we know that the DM is the problem here.
in short, there is no actual problem. He's just thinking like a regular chaotic character. The thing is, the other players have picked up on it and start calling him out or commenting whenever he does or says something fishy.
Oh, that sounds toxic.
By the way... I didn't find this. Our patrons sometimes just send us good threads that
Thank you, patrons.
they think we might want to talk about. This is one of those.
I like it.
Now, I try to not blame the player for doing what he thinks is fun. He is not killing children or anything. He just,
Why not?
never mind. He just acts like he doesn't care much. Sigma male. My problem is he is still a priest, and he never actually acts like one. But he's still level 1, no magic yet, so they must be playing an old school system, because even in 1E, you get spells at level 1 as a cleric. So they must be doing old school. But he might encounter undead soon enough. I don't know if I should have consequences for him for playing like a regular opportunist fighter or not. I don't want to be a dictator GM. You cannot do that. You're a priest. But I want him to play a priest. Should we make a new neutral chaotic deity, it's misspelled, that aligns with his ways of thinking? Should we start some kind of repentance/redemption process? Okay. TLDR. Also, by the way, if you're going to put a TLDR, put it at the start.
Beginning.
Thank you. My player is not playing a lawful priest like I thought he was going to. I don't want to shame him for it, but I wonder if there should be some divine consequences or not, and how to bring them about without hurting or shaming the player. There we go. That is our first question. What does the panel think?
Okay, I'll be totally serious here. I'm pretty sure there are deities in, D&D and Pathfinder. I've been deep into some...
Oh, you've been playing the video game, right?
I've been deep into some CRPGs recently that are both Pathfinder and D&D. I'm pretty sure there's like a deity of every type. Chaotic, evil, chaotic neutral, lawful, whatever. So I'm sure there's one you could find. So the trick would be you want to press this player and be like, well, what deity do you serve? And is this in alignment with the deity that you serve? And then, of course, you could just, call him on it and be like, bruh, like, this doesn't make any sense.
I agree with what Tim said. First, I agree. Tim and I, we're shaking hands spiritually. The thing is, if I have a problem, I just decide not to care about it. And then it's not a problem anymore.
Yeah. I'm a man. Suppress my emotions.
It is International Men's Day, by the way, November 19th.
Yeah. So we just suppress all of our emotions.
Some people say it's not a real holiday, but it's real in my heart.
It is real.
Google says it's
my
not.
male heart.
So, yeah, I would simply
look up DuckDuckGo.
Not care about this and just let him be himself.
It's true. You do you, bruh.
He's not even doing anything bad.
I would understand his frustration if they had talked about it before and he's like, hey, I want to play a priest, like a lawful priest, and it's like, cool, now I'm going to go include some of that into the, into this world. And it's like, dude, I spent 3 hours on this. You know,
if the guy's
if they had talked about it beforehand.
if the guy's a bad priest, then that's just what his character
Somebody's
is.
got to start a
There are bad priests.
like where do you think all
bad
these
priest?
There are
I've
so
never
many
heard of
jokes
that.
I did not make.
where do you think all the cultists came from? I mean, cultists have priests.
So I run a virtual campaign with some people who share my profession, which is gravedigger. But there's a character.
Really dark.
That was just intended to be completely random. Gravedigger, the monster truck. I'm a driver. So there's one guy who he insists on visiting a brothel at every town we go to. And
One of those.
so
One of your coworkers.
so I it's not a coworker, but it's someone with the same career path. So I just decided to give him a venereal disease.
There you go. Roll for it.
And we did.
Constitution check. Roll.
We did, and he turned out he's a werewolf now, which was one of the options. And it's stupid,
Interesting.
but it's got its own whole set of consequences that we weave into the course of the game. And I'm not very good at being a DM. I'm really actually quite bad at it. But I felt like that was a clever way to sort of let him be the character he wants to be and roll that into the flow of the game. And that seems pretty easy to do. You got a bad priest, you let that be part of the storyline, and bada bing, bada boom.
Give him
Yeah,
a curse.
I think there's actually tables for that in the 1E DMG.
Think so?
So
Yeah.
if I had somebody that case like that in my game, and they were going against their deity's values, I would, when they did get spells and they tried to do stuff, I would make their spells do whatever the deity they act like should serve.
That's what-
so like the
yeah,
spell does
yeah.
the wrong stuff.
But he's
and I'm
not-
like, why is my spells not working
he's not-
properly? And they can figure it out later if
In
they.
this situation,
start
he's not using
investigating.
spells though. So what if you're?
But he will eventually, right?
You will eventually.
Like let the guy play however he wants to play, but let his style of play actually affect the outcome.
Tries to heal somebody and
Sorry, I'm too far away.
they start
Or
decaying.
too close. Okay.
The body starts decomposing because they're acting like bad guy who does bad stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think we're all in agreement. So just roll with it, bro. Stop caring. Literally stop caring and your problems go away. Or just bring natural consequences. There we go. Problem solved. All right. Our next question.
Hey, can I ask a super noob question before you move on to that?
No. Yes.
Okay. So when he keeps calling the guy a priest, does he just mean a cleric, or was there a version of D&D that had a priest versus a cleric as an
I don't
actual
think there's
character?
ever been a version of D&D that has a
Or-
character called a priest.
Okay.
But
some other RPGs might.
most clerics are priests.
Yeah, no, I mean I agree with that. I just the language was interesting. So
Yeah, I don't remember.
Maybe they took the background priest or something.
Yeah, possible.
If that
But
is-
no, it's from old school, so they didn't have backgrounds.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'm kind of upset by something that's happened in my weekly game.
Oh no.
I'm coming to Reddit to vent a little. Many such cases. Has this happened to any of you guys? So I talked my usual 5e group into playing White Box. Oh, here we go. That's like a basic D&D clone. I put together
heard
a
of
pretty open-ended dungeon crawl. No real plot, just several hooks in town leading to potential adventures. But I left it up to the players to decide where to go, what to do, and how to go about it. Now, most of my players are far younger than me. They are used to highly durable 5e characters with a laundry list of powers and abilities. Compared to old school games, 5e characters are basically superheroes from first level. I really wanted to share what it was like back in my day. Okay, boomer alert. A more grounded, dangerous game, where the most dangerous game.
Daniel, this sounds like you.
Please don't remark
Back
on
when we
that.
had our D&D delivered with the milk.
Where the player's wits matter more than what's on the character sheet. Boy, was that a mistake. He's writing this from his lawnmower. He's cracked open a Monster Zero Ultra.
He's wearing white New Balances, but they're green now.
He's got calf socks on. Half of my
Still not convinced this isn't you.
He's got cargo shorts on. Half of my players
think it's
engaged,
me.
but a couple were tuned out from the beginning. Halfway through the first dungeon, they just called it quits. Just gave up on the game and called it a, quote, waste of time and said, quote, I hate this.
You got a couple gamers on your hands.
Yeah, there's some gamers up in here.
That sounds like your average Gigi No Re episode right there.
The Zoomer versus the old head.
I hate this.
I hate you, Dad. I've been running D&D for 30 years. Whoop! See?
There it is. There it is.
There it is.
There it is. I bet
This guy is literally Gygax.
I bet he started in second edition. I'm just saying. And for this player in particular, for several years, never have had such a reaction to a game I've run. His reason? First level character isn't competent. Low HP, no skills or powers means trying to do things is just convincing the DM to let me not fail. I tried to explain that's kind of the point. Couldn't change his mind. I, quote, wasted his limited gaming time. Listen, these guys
Mom only lets me leave every Tuesday. You know that.
Definitely sounds like
Craig.
Definitely sounds like his son and his friends from school. I'm pretty sure.
It really broke my heart. I've lost all motivation to run for this guy ever again. Man, these are so cathartic. Have any of you had such an experience? Have you ever had a player offended by old school games? There's the question.
What about just
I don't know
offended by
anything
games?
different.
This is a question for you.
Yeah, I have. And the answer is just not to run old school games for people who don't like it.
Pander to your audience.
Yeah.
I've never played anything, but
Well,
I mean, that's all we've ever played, really,
No.
right?
Well, you
Using
started
different
it on a
rules
proper
set.
5e.
5e is not old school.
Yeah.
Right? No, was the first? No, yeah. The first thing that we ran was 5e.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first
Okay.
thing you joined in.
You
on,
played
yeah.
more 5e than old school. Like, we've only played proper old school for a minority of the time. Most of us.
Since I came on board, it's mostly. Matter of fact, it's so 5e. The first time I came on board was the beginner's pack I can't remember what it was called, but it was a Wizards of the Coast like
the Essentials kit.
the
that
Essentials
Asa ran.
kit. But you ran it the
Oh.
first time I played.
I think I
the
took
week
over
before,
for Asa.
Asa
Yeah.
had run it, and you got TPK'd, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first time I played, and that was a couple years ago. That's like 2 years ago, about this time.
Crazy.
Dang.
I love
Crazy. Yeah, the heart wants what it wants. Yeah, I mean, what you've got to do, stop trying to convince people of things. This is general psychology lesson.
Right.
Don't convince people of things simply by aesthetic persuasion. You have to show that whatever you like is cooler. You have to just simply be emulatable.
Be the change that you want to be.
Exactly.
Tell
you wanna
them,
see.
tell them
See-
that their mother
See
prefers the old school
see
version.
the change you want to see in yourself.
You have to be like, I'm getting together a little thing, pretty informal tomorrow night. But it's going to be kind of on another level. I don't know if you guys would be interested in it, or even
you may
able to
not.
hang
You
with
may
it.
not care. You may not be able to handle it.
Yeah,
It's pretty
so
intense.
So if you want to, you can show up, but I don't know. There's a limited seating available. And then you show up,
just
and
for
it's
tough guys.
It's just you and your body pillow.
Sukiku.
It's just you and waifu.
just say it's cutting edge. Just say whatever you're doing is cutting edge.
Yeah, it's Renaissance kind of thing.
You probably
Really
say
weird
something about
stuff.
getting jacked
So-
in, too, because that makes it sound very cool.
At first, old school games were
Be
hard for me to
very
get into.
careful with how you use that.
In.
I liked the
Jacked in.
I liked the ability to go into 5e and could kind of create my own deal and make some sort of cool combination. But then we
Min-max.
started playing some other systems, like we played some old school systems, and I realized that those systems were more about being better player than having a better idea or better rolls and better luck. And so that was appealing to me after I kind of figured that out, that it's about trying to be a better player and be more strategic, think things through, have a good plan,
Or don't.
but those are the ways you succeed in all those older style games.
It's a different kind of thing. Like when I play video games, I'm total grug brain. I don't want anything where I have to think about stuff beforehand and prepare and say, ooh, 13 energy points are going to be consumed by this next action, so I'd better buy some crystals from the store. I don't want to do with that. I want to hit R1 to do a light attack and then press
action RPG.
circle to dodge.
I feel like this is a direct attack on me.
It's not an attack, but that's like modern games where it's in the moment, it's tactical. That's where the skill comes in.
You don't like turn-based strategy games.
No, I hate that stuff. Whereas old school gaming is more like turn-based strategy and RTSs, where it's about preparation beforehand, and then you see what's going to happen with what you decided.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
you prepared, you did your thing. It's like, well, you're in combat.
What does it even
be
mean
prepared,
to
right?
role play?
You play a role,
Play a role.
generally.
Oh my goodness.
But what's-
Sorry.
Sorry.
But what is?
As much as we are the
like,
the
you got-
antithesis of one another,
you
the
got-
thesis and the antithesis, we also just are the yin and yang. We bond.
What like old
precious.
school role playing game where you don't have a lot of stats? New role playing game, you have tons of stats and abilities. What is the role? What does that mean?
I think some people, I think that there have been divergent approaches to this. Some people in old school games just treat their characters and advocate for this. They say that you should treat your characters as pawns in chess. You don't try to get in their head. It's just they're the means through which you as a player act in the world. And that approach is supported by anecdotes of people just naming their characters like their own name backward, and they don't like give
I can't do
two
that.
thoughts to what's going on, fictionally, except as is necessary to win the game or to do well and have fun. Whereas some people, like that's why Dragonlance exists, is some people took the opposite approach. They were the theater kids.
Playing role games.
Playing, yeah, they were playing roles theatrically.
Dragonlance is a national treasure.
And the mechanics of
Prove me wrong.
the mechanics kind of fell by the wayside because they weren't interested in that. They were interested in storytelling and inhabiting the role. And today you still have those different camps, regardless of the rules that are being used. Anyway,
But you don't have hoopax.
no.
You got a problem with Dragonlance, you got a problem with me, and I suggest you let that one marinate.
Marinate.
Okay. Have we talked about this one enough? I think we've talked
Yes.
about it. Okay. The next one's very open-ended. Best modules? Question mark.
Yes.
What?
There are best modules.
What?
What is the best?
So okay, best modules. I've got some. If you guys care to chime in, feel free.
I feel like it should be like within like system specific.
No.
No. Mason said.
Like,
I'll tell you what.
best
it
or
ain't.
favorite?
Baby boy is
The
opinion.
5e Essentials pack. That's what it ain't.
It's like of the WotC published modules. This is they're all pretty garbage, but here's the best one among those, or of the.
I would say that for
whatever.
WotC modules, the starter kit is the best thing they've done. Not the one Asa ran. Not
That's
that
the
Asa.
essentials.
Not the Essentials, but
Minds
the
of Fade
starter.
Over.
The starter. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would
To Annihilation.
here there be Gerblins.
and Gerbins. Yep.
My favorite modules in general are for just the standard one that you're going to run. You don't know how to run D&D. Tower of the Stargazer by Lamentations of the Flame Princess. That module is fantastic to use in general, and it's also an introductory one that teaches you how to run it.
Yeah, we did that one at Decon a couple years ago.
Yep.
A few years ago.
Also, Village of Hamlet, the first one of Temple of Elemental Evil. We've run that one on the podcast before.
That one was one of the best things that I've played.
Yeah, that's a great module as well. We've played a lot of good modules from Zarkov, like a ton.
Was he Thulian Echoes?
Yeah, he was Thulian Echoes,
Okay, that was good.
and he has a lot more that are good too. I'm kind of a Zarkov fanboy. If I weren't opposed now to just running modules in general, I would run more of his stuff.
What was the one that we ran recently with the like the demonic cult and
1,000 Dead Babies?
Yeah,
You're gonna
that
have to be
was
more
also
specific.
that was Thousand Dead Baby.
To be more specific,
Yes.
they all have cults.
I thought that was very, very, very cool.
That was by the same guy. That's
yeah,
by Zarkov.
Zarkov.
Kowalski.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
that was
yeah.
a lot of fun.
I loved that, and
I loved playing your
I would
character.
like to play that more. I know. I love that you played my character.
What was
I had fun
the
on that one.
what was the Into the Odd one that we
Deep
did?
Carbon Observatory.
Deep Carbon. Yeah,
I love
That's,
that
That's
one.
Patrick
not,
Stewart.
That's not Into the Odd.
No. Yeah, but it's Into Odd system, but the
When you guys
the module setting
The module
was
is
by
system
Patrick Stewart, wasn't it?
independent,
Yeah.
I think. Maybe it's written for Lamentations of the Flame Princess, but it's by Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I really
Scrap
liked
Princess to the art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
DCO was great. That was like my first start
Wait,
to finish
Patrick
thing.
Stewart, like
Yeah.
the
No,
Patrick
no,
Stewart.
no.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is although he's British. This guy, the Patrick Stewart who wrote this one.
They're probably the same
Isn't it?
guy, right?
Isn't it?
Yeah,
They say
he's
that.
British in it.
Yeah, they say that over there.
So yeah, Deep Carbon Observatory, and they came out with
We say y'all.
And maths.
Isn't
they,
it?
they came out with a revised version of it which I'm sure has improved upon some of the usability problems. So you should get that one if you're gonna get it.
Yeah, I hope they fixed all the things that we pointed out.
Yes, they
points,
did.
glasses,
For what my
on our
opinion's
Mac Pro.
worth, I would love to play any of those. If y'all want to revisit any of them.
Hey, but just you got your campaign. Just run those.
We're
Just make sure you got a bone magnet.
magnet.
I've heard about Bone Magnet. That's one of the, yeah. No,
Didn't he
the
specifically
campaign I'm
change-
running is
Yeah, he
tied into something that I won't mention because Daniel will make fun of me. But
Okay, don't mention it then.
Wait,
but it
I wanna hear
it
him make
is-
fun of you.
It's going fine.
I want to hear Daniel scorn you.
No, I don't really
no.
care. No, we're playing the Frost.
Rhyme of the Frost
Yeah,
Maiden.
yeah.
I'm not going to say
It's
anything.
better than I thought it would be.
Wait,
Is that,
what
is
is
that
that?
the new WotC thing?
No,
Rhyme-
it's not the newest.
Right? Yeah, it's not the newest. There's another one since then.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rhyme
Oh,
of
it's
Frost
a
Maiden.
WotC thing.
It's open-ended enough that I'm able to do my own thing some, and it's been okay. And also, I've never DM'd before, so that's nice.
You can use blank verse instead of rhyming if you want. That's a poetry joke.
What was
Yeah,
the
I
other?
got it.
What was the other Patrick Stewart vehicle we used?
Star Trek,
The Enterprise.
The Next Generation.
Man, I bet Patrick Stewart thinks those are hilarious.
He never gets those.
Isn't it?
I don't remember. Well,
Electric.
no.
He
That's-
probably gets that as
Fashion
much as I
Fashion
get.
Land? Wasn't that him?
No.
Was he
That is
involved in
Chris
Maze?
McDowell.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Maze the
Oh,
Blue Medusa.
yeah.
Chris
Yeah.
is good.
He gets those jokes as much as I get the like the guy from Days of Our Lives.
Yeah. So Chris McDowell does Into the Odd, which
Ace of
That's the
Buchanan.
system.
is a system that we've used. Yeah.
He's the newest patron, right?
I don't know. We can't
can
affirm or
say?
deny
Oh, sorry.
any identities of any patrons.
I think his username is literally.
That's what I
That
thought.
could be somebody else.
That's what I thought too. That's the only reason I said it.
No,
Sorry.
that's actually Patrick Stewart. that is famed British actor
And I
Sir
will not-
Patrick Stewart.
That's what I meant. Yeah, sorry.
Did we enable the ability to change your nickname? Because everybody can just name themselves whatever they want in the Discord.
I can neither confirm nor deny that the President of the United States, Joe Biden, is a patron of GG No Ring. I'm
just
not
have to
going to
find
say
out.
yes. I'm not going to say no.
It's not a bunch of malarkey though.
No. I mean, well, maybe it is.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's not.
Hey, never mind. We're going to stop. We're going to stop. Those are good module recommendations.
Love it.
Now, on to the next. And another one. It seems like over the years you tried out a lot of house rules. I feel like that's directed at me. Some of them aimed at increasing role play. What worked and what didn't? Nothing worked.
Your players suck.
Daniel, so I don't know if it's because I'm so inexperienced, but Daniel seems to give up on his homebrew rules pretty quickly.
Is there a couch I can lay down on and talk to you about this?
How do you feel about this?
No, I mean, yeah, I was influenced by the story games scene. Story Games was named after a forum called Story Games, where people were reacting against people who were trying to do something other than D&D does, but use D&D's rules. And they said, to do things other than that, like a superhero game, you should just use rule sets designed to produce the effects you want to see. Logical. However, that's not what people want when they play. When people play D&D, they want to do D&D stuff. And having a bunch of rules layered on top to produce stuff other than that is a bad idea. People who are going to want to be more invested in the fiction and role play with an E are just going to do it with a little nudging or even without nudging. And people who don't want to are just going to be like, ugh. And if you introduce mechanical incentives, then it becomes box checking. Okay, have I done this scene? Yes. You don't care. People don't care about it. It's also that, was it the paradox of incentives, where as soon as you start incentivizing or paying people to do something, it becomes more like a chore or a job rather than something fun to do. Like, if in Elden Ring coming out in February 25th, 2022, if you got 5 experience points every time you used R2 attacks, your heavy attacks, you would just start using heavy attacks, whether or not it made sense, and it would be a chore. You'd be like, oh, I got to do these heavy attacks now. Instead of being like, oh, now's a great time to do a heavy attack. I'm going to do it. And so layering that on is bad. I think if you want to encourage a certain style of role play, you should do this in other ways that are more indirect, by asking questions of people. And if they don't want to answer, then you'll just see that. Or by putting procedures in, like, okay, you've got some free time. What do your characters do during the free time? people who don't want to bother with that will just say, oh, no, I just hang out. And that'll be it. But people who are interested in the world will say, oh, I want to go over here and talk to this person. And then there you go. You're done. What do you think about that? How does that make you feel? Don't say, how does that make you feel? Those kinds of informal procedures and they can be formal to you in your notes, but don't tell the players about them because that makes it drudgery for them instead of a game.
So, like, could you potentially have a system in place of incentives that you don't tell them where, like, you are rewarding them for doing certain things and you're keeping track of it? Is that something you would do?
I can't confirm or deny that. Now, the thing is, like, I have a thing, as I'm sure everyone knows, for clerics, the most ignored class.
It's a strange fetish.
And in my house rule games, I don't tell the players any powers that their clerics have.
Yeah.
They may not actually have any powers. I'm not going to reveal what the mechanics are. Now, that may provoke a kind of calculating approach, but to me, I don't care if they want to experiment and do all that kind of stuff. That's fine. And if they just want to do what their character would do, which is what I want, then maybe if there is any kind of benefit to be gained mechanically, they'll just experience it. So that's an example of actual rules that I have that I don't expose and therefore cannot be gamed.
So now tell us your good ideas.
Anyway, that said, I'm not against story games. Just don't try to make D&D into a story game. It's just people who play D&D want to play D&D, or else they would be playing your Vampire the Masquerade hack that uses
Critical Role.
Get aggressive.
Be
Aggressive. Yeah, there we go.
But I think people that really want to get into the role-playing aspect of it are going to do that unless you, like, forbid it either way.
Right. I mean, there's a continuum. Some people may feel that they're wasting other people's time. Mm-hmm. They need to feel that, like, if they indulge, it's not going to be against the table ethos. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's going to be welcome.
Right.
It's a funny thing about D&D. It's like, unless you're a complete autist, like, you're like you do have to kind of consider, the people around you and what do they want, and it's going to depend on how long have you known these people, how close is your relationship, because that can really change how you end up playing.
Yeah, that's
Asa
true.
wants to make a joke. He's not going
Have
to.
you seen each other naked?
Definitely changes the dynamic a bit.
How many times? No.
Yeah, and we've seen that in a lot of Dear Gary questions where it's like, it's clear that these people, they are playing with people that they either don't know well or they're not, like, super close with and don't have a trusting relationship with, so that changes the whole way that they play and they approach the game.
I think a lot of these people have communication issues anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
One
because, again, a lot of us can be autists who want to play this game.
One thing I noticed about this group is it seems like we both want to have fun and want to see each other have fun. So we can give and take as much as we need to.
Bro, can I get a hug?
Yeah.
How about just a fist bump? Because
Hug
all
time.
these mics and wires.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All these mics and wires between us.
Yeah. Man Day. International Man Day.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
I think the fact that we're all shirtless really helps.
Yeah.
With the bonding.
It's sweltering in here.
Oh, so one thing, the common thing that I would see in story games forums, which is helpful to some degree, is people would say the solution to problems you have with your players is to talk to your players. Now, the problem is that people who understand other people don't need to be told this and don't do this.
Right. Right.
So you think, oh, I want to make sure that other people are having fun, so I will talk to them. Well, that's because you don't understand how people work. And if you would just know if they did or not. So talking to them is not going to help because people also don't tell you the truth. They don't have enough introspective ability to know what they're feeling and why. So even if you do talk to them, 87% of the time, you're going to get bad information. So don't talk to your players. It doesn't matter. Instead, talk to someone who's normal and understands people.
Do not ask Reddit.
And have that person come to your games and read the table for you. And then talk to that person who's like a normal human being
Are
interpreter.
you saying get an interpreter?
Yeah, get an interpreter and say, so what was happening here with these people? and they'll say, well, player A was having a great time. Player B thinks you're an idiot. Player C is just there because his girlfriend's there. And you can get a rundown. So
Who's
get an
your
interpreter.
This is a service that we are starting to offer.
I'm like the quiz that's hot rock. Listen, I understand the rules and I understand the human mind.
You the
Okay?
quiz
Okay.
You're just
I'm the Gom
you're like,
Jabbar.
you're like an advanced
The Gom
AI.
Jabbar.
Okay.
You're like an advanced AI. You know how to achieve an effect, but you're not aware of like why it works.
Maybe so. But yeah, if you don't understand why, if people are having fun or not, or what's going on, just get an interpreter because you're hopeless without it. All right, the next one. All of us are tempted to construct our own rule sets. I feel like this is just all at me to make them work just the way we want them to. But if you had to run or play one rule set as is, no mods, which is the closest to your ideal? I'm hoping you'll answer this, and I'll hear about rule sets I've never come across before. Well, sorry. I don't know if I will. I will give you some secret one. I would want to run the one.
You should just
that
start
I
making
made
up stuff that doesn't actually exist just to mess with this.
So just talk about your favorite rule set, I guess. I'm going to say if I had to run one with no mods, goodness. As much as I hate to say this because of the complaints I had last time, I guess I would just run Into the Odd from someone who may or may not ever have been, is now or ever have been a patron, Chris McDowell. Now, of course, Into the Odd is his old one. His new one is Electric Bastion Land. So I guess I would run that just because it's easy to remember, is roughly D&D, is compatible with D&D stuff, and is flexible.
Into the Odd was fun. I liked Into the Odd.
Yeah.
Like the system. Isn't that what it is? The system?
Yeah, it's a system.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a little bit of bone magnet bias there.
Well, I never had the bone magnet.
Well, it's tied between that and like some stripped down apocalypse world, which is basically not even a system at all. It's just like rolling 2d6 with stats and adjudicating. But that's not, I don't think that counts. So if an actual system, I guess I would have to choose Electric Bastion.
Dermis.
Because if I was, my first instinct was to say, I'll run basic D&D. But then I had in my mind all these standard hacks that I do to it to make it more satisfactory for me. So that doesn't meet the criterion.
That's the opposite of the
That's the
criteria.
opposite.
So basically, you're looking for what system that I hack the least?
Yeah. So I guess Into the Odd, Electric Bastion Land for me. What about you guys? Which system do you enjoy the most?
I'm a normie. I think 5e feels very comfortable to me, but maybe that's because we played a lot of it.
Yep.
And I know it pretty intuitively, and it felt like a good balance between you can power game it if you want, if you're that type of person, and you can also not care about that and just be very strategic in how you approach combat. Because I think we've had a lot of scenarios where, quote unquote, the numbers weren't in our favor, but we were just smart about it and we knew the rules and how to play the game. And it just worked out well for us. So, mechanically, I feel like 5e is it's a decent system.
I agree.
I played so little of official systems that I don't really know.
Fair.
I like 5e. It's I mean, I hate all of the like official WotC stuff, but because I did not enjoy running it with their stuff. But running the actual 5e system isn't. It's easy to start doing, and there's a lot of ways you can tweak it to make it yours.
But we don't get past second level, do we?
Nope.
Yeah,
No.
we've never really gotten past.
But my favorite is Dermis.
Hashtag release Dermis.
Yeah.
I've never
the
played
lost
anything
episode.
with y'all that I've never I've leveled up once in 2 years of playing with y'all.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Wait, there's levels?
You guys get levels, but as a total noob, apart from Dermis, which is the best system,
Release the Asa cut. Release the Asa cut.
I like 5e because it's very easy to sort of start with absolutely no experience and pick it up fairly quickly, unless you're Stacy.
And he's not even here to do
Hey,
that.
Not here to
fired.
defend himself. He'll never
Shots
listen to
fired.
this.
I would have said it if he was here too, but
Not sure the last
but
time we've actually talked.
I
about it.
really like it because it's very easy. I mean, I feel like I played like twice and I had the hang of it, maybe
Yep.
once.
Yep.
And as a again, playing a little bit as a DM apart from here, I feel like I can run it as a DM and not have to like pause every 5 minutes to make sure that a rule is being followed the way it needs to be followed. Like, it's pretty intuitive, so that's what I like about it.
2E. No, just joking. No, I mean, everybody else said it, but I like 5E a lot.
Okay. And our last question, and our backlog is finished after this one. So,
Oh, wow.
dear listeners, if you have any ideas for the next Dear Gary, send them in. We have a contact form on our website if you want to do it 1996 mode. And then you can also join our Patreon at patreon.com/GGNoRe. That's GGNORE. And you can become a patron and get on Discord and send us DMs and that kind of stuff and give us ideas that way.
Yeah, there's no stupid questions. Just stupid people.
But yeah. And the last one is best encumbrance rules. Oh, here we go. I like mine that I used that I don't know if I've ever published. Mine use, what is it? I mean, it's basically a slot system that ties into D20 roll. Don't worry about it. I guess any kind of slot system is good, frankly. Back in the day, everything was weighted in terms of coins. So, like, your armor would be like 80 coins, and then your encumbrance limits were in coin weight brackets.
What?
That's how it started.
That's
I'm dying on the
interesting.
inside.
Yeah.
That's
the problem
weird.
is that there's no like real world thing that says, oh, that wave's about 150 coins.
So has a coin weight and a coin price?
Yeah. that
This
are
question
different.
says submitted by Daniel. Did you write this so you could answer it?
The answer is Death Stranding.
I bought that for $2 at Walmart.
Did you play it yet?
No.
Yeah.
Man,
I started it up and
that's
it
such a
would-
good deal.
And he just kept going left because my kid broke a controller. So I was like,
Or you didn't adjust
or
your pack.
maybe it's a strand game and they go left. I don't know.
Strand type.
It's the
game.
first strand type game.
It's straight.
No, it's a NASCAR strand game.
Yeah, that's one reason I bought Death Stranding is because I like encumbrance rules, and I thought, oh, a game
Highbrow NASCAR
about
joke right there.
encumbrance, fantastic. But I guess LOTFP or just anything with the slot system that makes it easy to deal with. A lot of people say to just use a significant item system and base it on your strength score, so you can carry X significant items before being encumbered, where X is your strength score. So. I mean, those are all easy. Anything is better. Anything that gets you to actually use encumbrance is, I think, a great system.
Have you ever played a system of encumbrance like Resident Evil where they give you an amount of cubes or something and you have to fill
Yep.
up a space?
There's
I
one
like that.
There's one called I think it's called like a hammer space thing, where it's just you just get so many literal slots, and some are bigger than others, just like Resident Evil.
Okay.
That's what the old XCOM game was. It's
Yeah.
pretty great.
And like I said, so many games use these systems now. I can't point you to a specific one, but I like anything that uses actual slots where it's just easy to keep track of what's where, and then
Resident Evil is the
My-
only one I can think of.
Fallout. I like Fallout's encumbrance system.
I don't remember. Is that just tracks the weight, right?
Just tracks the weight.
So, wait,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how 3E.
Oh, you mean
did
all
it.
like Elder Scrolls games?
Yeah, all
Yeah.
Bethesda.
If I'm gonna care about encumbrance, like really just have an ideal system, everyone's gonna hate it because it's too complicated.
I would want it.
It would be a combination of slots and weight. It would use both.
If I'm playing something where I'm worried about encumbrance, like it's gonna be like a realistic game, like not like a survivor horror. Like that's when
Yes.
it actually makes sense to me. If I'm in a magic land, why should I have to worry about encumbrance?
I want to go off so much now.
I am with Ace on this. This sucks.
I don't know. Actually, guys,
Magic Land, why should I worry about gravity?
Seriously,
Encumbrance. I'm playing a video game. Encumbrance rules boring.
Yeah, boring is a legitimate objection.
yeah, I don't think it's boring. I think that's legit. I agree with Daniel. On
just
this.
because you guys are broken doesn't mean you're right.
Like in Resident Evil, I like it. I do not mind it in Resident Evil just because the type of game it is.
'Cause it
and
makes sense.
The choices are easy to make. They're chunky enough that
Yes.
it's not. You take 5 seconds and the decision is made.
And even in Resident Evil, like I feel like they probably give you too much leeway to carry what you're carrying. Honestly,
Yeah.
because I can feel like OP in that game sometimes. But but I understand what they're going for. But any fantasy, like most of these fantasy games, where it's just like if they're giving you so many options to pick up stuff, and maybe this is just a game design issue. Like if you have the option to get so much junk like all the time, like
Fallout.
Like if you're going to limit my encumbrance, maybe just don't give me so many options.
Right.
Exactly. I don't want to be picking up every plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then also that incentivizes you to pick up every like fork that might be worth 2 coins.
Yeah. Make the options meaningful. You know.
Yeah.
And then I might care.
For me, it's like ingredients in Skyrim. Like,
yeah,
there are like 3 potions you're ever going to use in Skyrim.
And who brewed potions in Skyrim?
Not me.
Yeah, whoever did that.
I've played like 20 minutes of Skyrim.
Not do that.
I've played like 300 hours.
I played a lot.
Never bothered with brewing potions.
I've brewed health potions because I've had situations where I keep getting wrecked. By
health potions, but lots of times you have options for non-health, like if it's not health or it's not mana.
You can literally make like poisons that only affect the opponent's stamina.
Yeah.
Like I don't think anyone has ever brewed that intentionally.
It's like if you're one of that small subset of people who want to role play the person who's the poisoner, assassin or whatever, who's going to use this one thing. And I think it's just a game balance issue.
I love that it's in the game. I love the depth of it, but I'm personally not going to use it. But like you were saying with the ingredients, like don't give me so many options. There's so many,
and there's so many
things
that you like accidentally pick stuff up, and then you're like, why can't I pick up this cool sword that I found? Oh, it's because I have 75 pounds of Abyssinian longfish or whatever. Like, when did I catch those even?
So a
They
decent,
didn't even have fishing till the 35th release of Skyrim.
a more realistic encumbrance system for Skyrim could make it less tedious because you'd be like, oh, I can only fit like 5 more slots, so I better care about what I pick up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
makes your stuff more valuable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rarity increases value.
I don't know if it's out there, but my ideal system would be, like I said, slots and weight. For example, iron bars and sticks of bamboo. Obviously, don't weigh the same, but I can't physically carry more than, 30 in my arms of bamboo.
I can carry 45 minimum.
You're missing the third stat, which is thickness.
Well, but I don't know. It would just have some sort of combination because they have a physical size. Like I can't obviously take more than X amount, but weight-wise, I could carry them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Never mind. I've played 129 hours of Skyrim.
As he checks.
What
I played a lot more than I thought I did.
Yeah, I looked at my Steam time and it was like over 300 hours, and then I remembered, oh yeah, I also played that on the Xbox 360.
And how do I have 84 hours in Half-Life 2?
I think when they re-release Skyrim, it starts that counter over again though. So
For sure,
I've never
The story's like 3 hours long.
I've never played or bought Skyrim.
What? How's that possible?
Everybody.
What?
My parents have done it. I don't know. You
Wait,
just get it now.
He's like 25.
He's a baby.
But you just get it now. They just give it to you.
Came out
Yeah. They have like
Doesn't
15
everybody have it?
There's like 15 platforms it's on now.
2 days ago, my alarm went off. I woke up. I was playing Skyrim.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason is because it was so popular, it was everywhere, and it's always going to be there. So I'm just not incentivized.
It just works.
It came out on November 11th, 2011.
You said this is such a
Yes, it
normie
did.
thing. Wait, this is November. We recently passed the 10-year anniversary.
That's why they re-released it again.
Oh yeah. Sorry, the
Did that escape you?
the constant cash grabs. I just kind of write them off.
Yeah, it's great. The Elden Ring though is going to be like Skyrim with Souls combat, which is why it's going to be great.
It's gonna be so good.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I might
hard to
not
believe.
get it.
It's hard to believe.
Don't come back.
He's gonna. He's already said he's gonna come over to my house and play.
Just watch, maybe.
I have to see each one of y'all's Steam and PS libraries, and the next time we play, I'm gonna check them at the door. If you don't own
Is it-
Elden Ring, you can't come
It's not
in.
going to be till February?
Is Elden Ring only going to come out on PlayStation though?
No, it's
Oh, okay.
everything
Everything.
except Switch.
So which version
What
is
if
going
I
to be
got
broken?
a functional graphics card before then?
Yeah, I need one too.
That'd be dope.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, I still try to get a 3080 every now and
New egg. Let me in that shuffle.
Hey,
Well, notice
I think
me.
it would be cheaper for me and Asa to fly to China and steal a truckload from the factory.
I'm all for it, man.
I honestly think that probably costs you like 200 yuan bribe, and then you're good
In
to
10
go.
years, that's going to be like the new like Ocean's 11. It's just
Right.
like stealing graphics card heists.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when's there gonna be a movie on this?
Well, I think the reason I might not get it immediately is just to see if the PS4 version is fine because I don't have a good
It is.
PC or.
They guys already tested it in the network test.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's pretty stable.
I've been playing it on my Xbox One for like 3 months.
My uncle works at my uncle works for PlayStation. He let me play it.
But yeah, you can go on YouTube and look for PS4 Elden Ring gameplay
That's what kids used to say at
and
school.
see what it's like.
My
But it's
uncle-
fine. I
My
watched
uncle
it.
works at Nintendo. He got me Zelda 4.
My uncle invented the Dreamcast.
Cool. Failure.
The Dreamcast was dope.
All right, this is now the Elden Ring podcast.
I will fight you.
I actually had a friend in middle school whose uncle was one of the, I think he was the original guy who started EverQuest, and so he had
Okay, sure
like,
you did.
He had all these EverQuest accounts that were all maxed out that his uncle gave him and stuff. He thought he was the coolest stuff.
Was that an
Sounds awful.
MMO?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aw.
It was like
one of the
before.
cute-
It was like one of
So-
the first big MMOs before
Yeah.
World of Warcraft.
And it was free to play, wasn't it?
No,
No.
nothing was
no,
free
no.
to play back then.
No.
Bruh.
It wasn't. At my roommate in college, his little brother like got in trouble because he played it too much and
Nice.
it cost all this money, whatever. But
His
then he
college tuition.
sold his first character to some other dude for like $1,000, and his dad was like, "Yeah, you're good. Continue,
All right, fine.
continue."
If you can keep this up,
Yeah.
All right, well, that was an illuminating discussion.
you're welcome.
The end of this Dear Gary episode.
Did we answer the question at all?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Excellent.
Let the reader understand. Next time, I mean, we're after this. We're gonna do a little something.
Only Daniel knows what it is.
A little
Surprise.
something. Will it get released? Who can say?
You.
That's true.
You can say.
Literally, you can say.
I'm literally the only person who can say that.
Stay
Yeah.
tuned.
We'll find out. But check us out, ggnorecast.com. GGNO Recast on Twitter, but I haven't checked that in like 3 months. So if you need to contact us, be a patron at patreon.com/GGNORE or go to our website and email us. Stay frosty out there. GGNORE.